Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic Unleashed. We are picking up this episode exactly where we left off last time, which is directly next to the Cool Edge level we just finished, but we start with the cutscene, so see you afterwards. I do love the contrast in their reactions. Anyway, Dark Moray is not a great fight, but it's also not horrible. So first of all, we can see that it's surrounded by a shield of ice. That means we have to do something about that. These small eels below here are controlling the ice. I immediately grok that I have to use these ice cylinders to throw at them. What I didn't realize is that the other eel is directly next to the first one at the very end of the arena from now here. Something that I also didn't realize the first time that I played this, which is what you are seeing, is that the ice canisters, probably containing liquid nitrogen or something, are starting to leak over time, and if you wait for too long they will explode in Sonic's hand and freezing him, which is always a little bit annoying. It's not as annoying as it could be, I guess, but you know. As you can tell here, I was actually doing a lot of damage with the Wear Wheel, but every hit the boss took a little bit less damage. Now we already took out 2/3 of its health bar, but that is basically an illusion, because we are not going to be able to kill it in one hit no matter what we do here at the start, unless we have like a super high strength, do a charge attack, and then I think you can use this tactic to basically speedrun it in the first phase and immediately kill it, something that you can also definitely do with the Phoenix. I missed here with the ice and realized at this moment that you don't actually have to freeze the eels. You can just run in and hit them. It deals significantly less damage, but it does definitely work to kill them like this, and I'm going to employ this later on. You can tell here also now that you could not hit the back weak spot, as the main eel is going to turn towards you all the time, and the front weak spot is already broken, so you have to go to the back. I still try to hit the front for whatever reason, but whatever, it's fine. You can tell what you have to do. And now that I figured out that you can hit the bottom eels by yourself, this is mostly what I'm going to try. However, it's going to bite me a little bit, because they're actually quite good at dodging occasionally. Like the last one here is going to be very annoying for me, because it just keeps retracting immediately, and I go back and it retracts again, and it's just like, what am I doing here? Like here, definitely it would be better to pick up one of the ice canisters and just throw it, instead of doing this weird ass dance here. Something that I'm also going to figure out here is that actually the main boss can freeze the small eels, which is quite convenient, isn't it? And now we only have to hit the last weak spot. Where is the last weak spot? Well, it's at the top of its head. You can kind of see it here. But again, Simon, by the way, you have already broken the other two weak spots. You can't re-hurt him there. So we have to make him go down somehow. And there we go, it is going down. Which is something that it always does when it first escapes from being frozen. At least I think so. And now is our opportunity to throw ice at him, and oh, he went up again. So now I'm waiting for him to finish this attack and do the drop down attack again, but he doesn't seem to be interested in finishing this attack, and now he throws us together with himself, and it's still too high up, so it's all very annoying. In general, this boss is more awkward than difficult. You can tell that I've lost like 1/3 of my health bar, which is basically nothing. And I'm mostly just like struggling to figure out what I need to do to get him to drop down again, because he doesn't seem to be interested in doing that on its own. So what I end up doing is just freezing him again, and then hoping that he does it, and he does in fact do that, while we figure out that standing directly next to him is a safe spot and nothing will happen to me. So that's cool. But overall, as I said, this is not great. Like this phase is very strange and awkward. Like the bottom phase, I do like getting all of the eels. You can do a lot of different things with them, like you can hit them before you freeze them, or you freeze them and then they're gone in one hit. But this here is a bit I did realize at some point that one moon medal is missing, and I saw exactly where it was. Now I just have to hit him before he unfreezes, and I managed with a last long swing, and you can tell that it just dealt a lot of damage to immediately delete the health bar. This isn't meant to be like difficult once you've frozen him on the ground, that this is basically it and the fight is over. Something else I realize here is that despite my terrible performance, I still got an A rank, so I'm like at this point, hey, I think I can do an S rank, right? And this is something that we're going to see later. But first, of course, another cutscene. See you afterwards. Well, that was that. I guess at this point it's routine. So with this we may have, and we did in fact, yes, we are going to see that in the next episode, unlock new places to go. Excitement, finally, because we did so much side questing. But here I see Brenda and I'm like, yeah, before I redo the boss, maybe I'll just indulge in a pop quiz about stuff that I just did and a few basic information about the game. Like, yeah, I just killed an eel. It was definitely an eel and or a moray, but you know. And the first one, yeah, I think that was the beetle and not the flying fish. Yep, the first one, not the second one. Like, the pacing of this game is weird. It's been a while. And also I did in fact pay a tiny bit attention to the cutscenes, so I know the color of the emerald. And the plane question, really funny. Anyway, let's talk to the NPCs a little bit, see how they react to what we just did, wind down a little after this very difficult and demanding boss fight. This guy is still whipped by his wife, hilarious, definitely great character writing. And Jari-Pekka still calls us phonics, but now he actually has something to do for us. So that's something that I'm interested in, but not immediately, because I feel like I still have some unfinished business here. As I said, I want to redo the boss fight and do it with an S rank this time, and we are going to do that now. And what I do for this is basically the same thing on the bottom that I did the other times, where I'm trying to attack the eels immediately if it's convenient, because if I do hit them quickly, then the fight is over relatively early. If they manage to dodge, of course, it's a different matter, but yeah, that's fine. I do appreciate that you don't actually have to stun the eel, the big one, for the first hit. And I do also appreciate that you appear to be able to hit the weak point from behind somehow. What I don't appreciate is that I'm lacking just enough strength to kill them in one their spiral attack. I don't know what it's called. But it's fine overall, it's not that big of a deal. Something that is a bit strange is that it appears that the eels are dodging more as the phases progress, and then of course you have the whole 4 of them to deal with, so that's interesting. Like, there is a little bit of mechanics to this boss. It's not super complex, but it does have a few things going on for it. I do not, again, appreciate how much the health bar is actively lying to you. Like, why isn't it just 3 segments? It doesn't matter that it has a health bar. On the other hand, again, it enables you to deal so much damage in one hit that you can kill him in the first phase, so I guess I should count my blessings for that. So this one here is a dodger, as you can tell here. Yep, so it's probably a good idea to try and freeze it instead. Simon, it's probably a good idea to try and freeze it instead, because it's just going to keep dodging, you know that. So get the ice canister, yes, good boy, freeze him, excellent, and then it's gone in one hit. This might be sometimes quicker. This one here is already attacking, so that means I can retaliate and kill it with one spiral. Excellent, didn't dodge, wonderful. Let's get up here, freeze this guy again so that he does a drop down attack. I don't know if you have to do that or if you can bait it out in some other way, but it appears that he's quite content to keep throwing projectiles unless you do bait out the drop down attack by freezing him, then waiting out the freeze. That's just so weird, like I don't get it. Like something about this I feel like I haven't understood. But now that I've frozen him, just another hit, bam, big one for effect, and we are done with this fight in about half the time that it took for me the first time, so much more efficient, even though I was still screwing around a little bit. Like I could easily shave off another 20 seconds, 30 seconds here if you really wanted to. in the normal way, but I mean, why bother? Like, the speedrun tactic is completely different anyway, and this was enough for 87,500 points. Don't know where the threshold is, probably 80k. It's not that much more that I got, even though I was so much faster, but it was still enough for an S rank, so whatever, we're not going to do that again. Instead, we're going to guard Jari-Pekka, which is pretty much the same mission that we already did in Apotos for the old guy there. And here I have a brilliant idea. I got this new AoE attack and I can hit all of them at once. Unfortunately, it hits one of them backwards into Jari-Pekka. And even though he is very dead, Jari-Pekka is still like, why did you not protect me, Phonix? So I'm using the other style attack and pushing everyone away from Jari-Pekka. Almost screwed it up again, but it's fine. And then I realize I have enough time to get this medal that I spotted at the back of the arena, and now I can take them out with regular attacks. I was obviously trying for something there, it didn't work, so I'm just hitting them, everything is good. This guy here, I keep slapping, even though he's very dead already, and while this guy is blocking, I am going to instead do a fancy finishing move, and that's the last guy, and that's it. 30 seconds to spare, really not a big deal. I feel like I am very properly leveled for this part of the game, and it's not much of a challenge here. So this is a mission that could be really annoying if it takes you much longer to kill these guys. I know, because I feel like I remember it being annoying, but this was absolutely no problem, so it's cool. And sadly, Jari-Pekka still does not remember, so there is definitely another step in the side quest, but not right now. Maybe I'll have to wait a little bit, maybe I'll have to progress the story, I don't know, but I don't really care to find out immediately. Next time, we're going for warmer shores, different country, finally. See you then, and thank you very much for your attention.